Kids who actually chose Bulbasaur, how'd you turn out? I'm 29 and I still live in the bushes in my parents' yard. We do beg your pardon, but we are in your garden. Not many people will get this reference, but you made me laugh lots. I see you're a theft and shrubbery enthusiast too. For the uninitiated, YouTube link. Same. Howdy neighbor. You live in the bushes and pay presents yard? You don't? It's like a little bush commune. Cult. Communist Union. Turned out to kick Brock and Misty's ass in their own gyms. PFFT. And Lieutenant Surge, too. He's not weak to grass, but Raichu isn't doing much at all to an Ivysaur. Yup, grass resisting electric is not well known, a lot of people won't realize how right you are about this. That pun was only expected. Sigh, duck. There's no relaxing in these pun threads. I knew there was going to be a rapid dash into a pun thread. Ditto. Can I mute you? That was a ghastly pun. F you. If you aren't amused, then ditto. I didn't think it was too far-fetched. Yeah, just because you chose grass they write you off. Well, they are resistant to electric. Grass type is all front-loaded, then you have trouble with 5, 6, and 7 being poison, psychic and fire. Giovanni using ground makes your grass types shine, then some of the Elite 4 are easy to take out. Grass is a cheat code for the Gen 1 series. By those middle gyms though, you've got a decent team rounded out to handle them, assuming you didn't just supercharge your starter like most kids do. But I agree that Bulbasaur was sort of easy mode, Squirtle was medium, Brock was easy, Misty nothing complicated, and then Surge difficult, and Charmander is hard mode. Brock and Misty being difficult fights, and if you did supercharge your starter you might have a Charizard by Surge, which isn't ideal either. It basically listed those as the difficulties in the instruction manual. I never knew that. I always went with Charmander because he's my favorite. So I was a little off. It says your starter will determine the difficulty and that Bulbasaur was the easiest. Web link. Man, I remember just staring at those illustrations as a 6-year-old, that OG art really had charm. I miss instruction manuals. Games back then had weak stories, mostly, but the manual always painted just enough of a picture to make it all seem so large and cool. Yeah, the original intent of the starters was basically a difficulty mode. Now it's more like trying to appeal to a wider audience with more starting choices. In some cases there will still be an easy, hard mode, but it feel more like an accident than a purposeful inclusion. On the bright side, there's never been any starters that are particularly broken, that you can start with. If I recall correctly, the only starter in Ubers is Blaziken, and that was only in the later gens when it got speed boost and got a free half agility every turn. Edited for technicality. Brock was a pain in the ass for Bulbasaur because the only type-specific move you're close to getting by then is Leech Seed, which isn't super strong. Squirtle learns early on, I think Water Gun? Bubble? Something that's actually a decent type move that you can use against Brock. Level 13 Vine Whip is well worth the grind. Or you could pick up a Nidoran and double kick Brock in the balls, might be yellow only, Ike. Honestly, Nidoran is the true best starter. Who the hell had Charizard by Lieutenant Surge? Also, did no one else have a sibling that they trade backed with to get all 3 starters? Just me? Once or twice I had the 3rd Evo for Surge. Just power level that single Pokemon and go out of your way to fight every available trainer, don't run from wild encounters, a few rare candies maybe, etc. Is that why some trees manage to survive a direct lightning bolt? Exactly. It's simple poke science. You get IT. Plant Gang is so strong at the start. I'm pretty sure the gym setup was meant to create an easy, medium and hard mode based on your starter. Cries in Pikachu Yellow version. The first time I fought Brock in that version I thought I was supposed to do it the canon way and kept using Thundershock, assuming at some point someone would turn on the sprinklers and it would start doing massive damage. Similar situation with me and the SS Anne. I thought the game would be the same as the anime, where it sinks and you end up on an island. Spent about 3 days in real life wandering around that ship, waiting for it to leave. The captain even says we're just about ready to leave. Was absolutely devastated when the minute I stepped off it effing left without me. Thought I lost the game. I forgot exactly what you needed to get off the SS and to advance in the game, the cut him maybe? But there was a way I could trade with my brother where you could continue on without it leaving the dock. Little me always thought I was being such a hacker, always playing the game with the boat never leaving the port. There was a myth that if you got cut from a traded Pokémon and thus could leave the boat there, you could get a Mew. If you come back later with surf, you can surf into the water in front of the boat and find a small landing spot with a truck. The myth was using strength on that truck revealed a Pokeball with Mew in it. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. I think that's what I was trying to the first time I did it, was pretty disappointed when it didn't work, but for some reason leaving the point there became my normal after the fact. Crazy how rumors like that spread so far back then without any real social media or any way for us 10-year-olds to contact anyone outside our school. Butterfree is the key. 1. Get Butterfree. 2. Sleep Powder and Abra. 3. Catch the teleporting F4, evolve to Kadabra. 5. Stomp the rest of the effing game. Note, I did this in Fire Red, I think. My sister lost my yellow version, and I'm not bitter to this day at all, so I'm not certain that Abra appears in the same spot or that Sleep Powder is a Gen 1 move. It does, and it is, and Kadabra is Ba-Roken in Gen 1, since special attack and defense are the same stat and crit rate is based on speed. This is exactly the reason that the Abra line are some of my very favorite Pokémon. As a kid who played Red all the time, once I got Kadabra it was over. Only Alakazam is good now in later gen, but still good glass cannon special attackers. Only Pokémon I ever got to level 100 was my Kadabra in yellow. I used to grind the Elite Four with it to switch out and evolve others. Taught it Flash at the beginning of the game because I was just a dumb kid. Damn, I loved that game. Catch Abra, fight the guy with the slowpoke, teleport right as that guy sees your feet from the grass, catch Mew, stomp the rest of the forking game. Ah yes, the Farsight trainer glitch. In Pokémon Blue you can perform this glitch in Viridian Forest. You can catch a level 100 Nidoqueen by blacking out from poison on the same frame you step in front of the last trainer in the forest. It took me about 150 resets on my old Game Boy Color, but it was awesome. So satisfying, just steamrolling through the game in record time. Lamau. I somehow got a level 100 Pidgey from that. When it comes to steamrolling, there's a similar thing in Pokémon Sword/Shield where instead of using a glitch you just play the game normally and easily beat all these weak-ass trainers without a sweat because the designers forgot to make it a challenge. Sleep Powder is a Gen 1 move and everything is the same as yellow with the exception of version exclusives, Starter, Jessie and James, and the game handing you Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander at various points. Nah, Mankey with low kick. Go to the Indigo Plateau and catch yourself a Mankey and you win. Yeah, that's why I chose Charmander. Hard mode. Not just cause I like fire. I was 12, I was well into dragons, it was a no-brainer for me. Too bad it's not a dragon type. /S. I know that now, but it was a lizard with claws, wings and fire, so you couldn't tell me otherwise back then. Giant lizard creature, has wings, breaths fire, not a dragon? Video game logic. Salamander, they're normally fire monsters. There is strong theories that Charizard was meant to be dragon but was removed due to balance issues since dragon was made to be original post in first gen. The only gyms it really has massive problems with are psychic and fire. And I guess grass in that leech seed and crap don't work, and maybe Koga, can't remember if he has psychic moves, but you have 5 other Pokémon for that. I'm pretty sure Bulbasaur was meant to be easy mode. Squirtle was medium, and Charmander was hard, right? It was a real bitch trying to win against Misty as a 5th grader with a Charmander, not knowing that I could get Pikachu before fighting her or having any real understanding of the different types and weaknesses. That battle was awful. But F me, I got it by the skin of my teeth with the single near-dead Pikachu I had at the end of the fight because her dumb ass decided to use X accuracy instead of bubble beaming me to death. I effing screamed in triumph. That was my very first run. This was also the run in which I had no idea what I was doing in regards to leveling up other Pokémon, so I ended up with like a bunch of level 30-40-ish Pokémon and my level 86 Charizard that I relied on to steamroll whatever was in front of me through sheer brute damage. I could be frighteningly dumb as a kid, but ramming your head against a brick wall until it yields to your stubbornness is technically still a strategy. Yep, pro tip, types are just a distraction from the fact that having 20 levels on your opponent means you win. Game, Flamethrower is not very effective. Star me, dies me, yeah okay. Once I learned what grinding was at like 12, this became my eternal Pokémon strategy. The classic RPG choice, strategy or grinding? Wow, that was my strategy exactly for years. Amazing how far one ridiculously overpowered starter could get you. Did this in Sapphire my first run through. Chose Trico for starter. Ended up with a level 75 or so by the time I hit the Elite Four and grinded them for hours after the fact to get Sceptile to level 100. Worth all the time, honestly. You could also get a few plant types if you headed across Nugget Bridge Urk. I think either Tangela or Oddish were up there. Oddish or Bellsprout depending on red/blue version. I don't know why I still know this crap 20+ years later, but here we are. Because Pokémon red/blue/yellow and the 151 Pokémon were so ingrained into everything we played, watched, and talked about back then. I can still name the 251 Pokémon I saw the most as a kid. I tested it with a friend, and as a 19-year-old who started playing with Diamond but was a massive fan since I was like 3, I can name 534,896 Pokémon without any hints or prompts. I think the first 151 were just so memorable in design and easily named. My parents even know most of them and they barely even consumed, haha. I haven't played since Sapphire, but I still remember most of those also if you show me an image. But the OG 150 is burned into my mind thanks to the Pokémon rap. Which ones are the other 362? Well, clearly he doesn't know that. Imagine having to train your commander to beat Brock. Could have just picked Bulbasaur and crap on him, lol. I always, in blue at least, went for Butterfree with confusion. You could also get Mankey from Victory Road, or get a Nidoran, either gender, which would learn Double Kick. Or you could grind a Caterpie to level 12 and have a Butterfree with confusion, and a bit more leveling to have Sleep Powder as well. Imagine post-grind having a Charmander, Charmeleon by Misty, who can solo the rest of the game with absolutely no further grind. I loved picking Charmander. Had red, yellow and blue though, so I played the other ways too. Bulbasaur is still hands down my favorite starter all these generations later. I think it was my inner troll that loved the Leech Seed, toxic stacking error in Gen 1. Turned out into a weird biologist and math nerd, seems appropriate. Edit. Thanks for the reward and the egregious number of upvotes. I'm very confused by all of this. Also worked with Rap, and Rap had the bonus move glitch, where as long as the Pokémon using Rap was higher speed than its opponent, the other Pokémon never got to attack. Victory Bell was an absolute monster. Agility, plus, Dragonite. You expect the legendary Dragon type to be known for fearsome elemental coverage and powerful attacks, but nope, it's all about hugging you to death. Did not know that you were such a monster. Why would you make all those Pokémon struggle to live? Victory or death. Stacking Leech Seed and Toxic is such a hack. I'm surprised I hadn't heard of it more often. Seriously. I think Toxic is as a result to this day about my favorite move in the series. My Venusaur had Leech Seed and Giga Drain. Something special about draining the life force out of your enemies. This guy's 4 parallel universes ahead of us. Routes ahead. Stop trying to make it a thing, Pierce. It's already a thing, you're just routes behind. Did I ever tell you about the time I met Eartha Kitt in a bathroom on the SS Anne? Speaking of bathrooms, I once banged Eartha Kitt in an airplane bathroom. Roxanne. No. Bathroom? This is the worst timeline. The crossover joke I needed to hear. He's already beaten all the Pokemon games of the past, present, and future. I hope he is still QPU aligned. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.